Good morning, mom and friends. We will discuss about the nature of reference in text and in discourse. The first, I will to explain definition of text. The nature of reference is important in text and discourse. Therefore, it is needed to see what it means to refer in discourse. This chapter describes definition of the text followed by discourse, reference, and pronouns in discourse. A. Definition of text. Text is mentioned previously is the verbal record of a communicate events. Authors such as Van Dijk, 1972, Gudwinski, 1976, Halliday and Hessen, 1976, are concurred with the principles of connectivity which bind a text together and force co-interpretation. Text is unit of meaning. It refers to a product of process, so it is realized in sound and writing. It can be a product signed. It can be record or read. It can be of process because it is derived from choosing of meaning affected by context. Halliday, 1944. Halliday and Hassan, 1996, 2 until 4. A text has texture, and this is what differs it from something that is not a text. The texture is provided by cohesive relation. Cohesive relationship within a text are set up where the interpretation of some element in the discourse is dependent on that another. The one presupposes the other in the sense that it cannot be effectively decoded except by resource to it. Look at the example below. The example. Take and bring 2 pairs of traditional clothes, give them to groom's parents. Of this text, it is clear now that them in the second sentence refers back to is anaphoric to the 2 pairs of traditional clothes in the first sentence. This anaphoric function of them gives cohesion to the 2 sentences, so that they are interpreted as a whole. The 2 sentences together constitute a text as Halliday and Hessen proceeded. It is outlined by Halliday and Hessen that a taxonomy of types of cohesive relationships which can be formally established within a text, providing cohesive texts which bind a text together. The such markers are N. Batso and then Halliday and Hassan Brown and Ewell. also provide an X that often illuminating discussion of the relationship indicated by such markers, together with an extended taxonomy. The taxonomy of types of exhibit of conjunctive relation as stated by Halliday and Hassan are as follows. Okay. A. Additive and or furthermore similarly in addition. B. Adversative but however on other hand nevertheless. C. Causal. So consequently for this reason it follow from this. D. Temporal. Then after that and whole letter, finally at last. It is of course not the case that any of these formal markers stands in a simple one-to-one relationship with a particular cohesive relation, and for example can occur between sentences which exhibit any one of the four relationships mentioned. Neither is it the case that the posited relationship cannot be held to exist in the absence of formal markers.
B. Discourse reference. Reference based on traditional semantic view relates to one in which the relationship of reference is taken to hold expression in a text and entities in the world, and that of coherence between expression in different parts of a text. Dalam discourse reference ini berkontribusi pada pemahaman keanekaragaman bahasa. Menurut Brown and Yule, mereka mengatakan bahwa referensi yang berhasil tergantung pada identifikasi pendengar untuk tujuan memahami linguistik yang menjadi rujukan pembicara berdasarkan ungkapan rujukan yang digunakan. Yang dimaksudkan dengan mengidentifikasi rujukan adalah mempertimbangkan interpretasi rujukan ekspresi dalam wacana. Rujukan ekspresi fungsi referensialnya tergantung pada interpretasi pembicara pada kesempatan penggunaan tertentu. C. Pronouns in discourse. Pronouns are typically uttered with low pitch in spoken discourse. Pronominal such as it is not actually a referring expression but can only be used coherently, that is, within a text that also includes a full nominal expression. The relationship between a full nominal expression and pronominal expression is then described as an antecedent anapor relation, as it has been stated previously. Example, you can open book and we can see on page 50. Di situ ada contohnya. The example of sentence has pronominal that refers back to its antecedent nominal.